This My Thoughts Monday is brought to you by Kinetic Performance, the makers of the Rolls-Royce of barbell monitoring technology, the GymAware. Guys, in season training, we rock the GymAware all the time for quite a few reasons. The first, of course, is just that, the ding. Every time the athlete hears that, they know that they're hitting exactly what we need from them at that moment. And when they don't hear it, it brings out that extra little bit of competitiveness within themselves. On top of that, that awesome ding ends out bringing together the athletes as well, pushing each other and getting each other to be able to hit numbers that they probably wouldn't hit at that portion of the year. And finally, of course, that ding helps us monitor, manipulate, and keep track of volumes and intensities so we can best dose our athletes during the season at the right time with the right amount. Guys, hop over to kinetic.com.au and check out what Evan and the team down there have, because this is absolutely a sensational product that's changed the way that we've trained our athletes. This edition of My Thoughts Monday is brought to you by Valve Performance, the team behind the Nordboard, Force Decks, the Groin Bar, and Human Track. Guys, the most important ability for all of our athletes is availability, and that's the absolute goal of Valve Performance, is to provide solutions to performance professionals so that we can get the right information to make the right decision at the right time for the betterment of the athletes that we get to work with. To do this, guys, they have a wide range of validated products that focus on usability, and having being founded by the School of Exercise and Nutrition Sciences at the Queensland University of Technology, they're extremely evidence-based and they're beyond transparent. I can tell you that our time using the Nordboard and being involved with Force Decks, we have been introduced to so many amazing people that have truly helped us become better coaches, have a better understanding, not just of the technology, but also what we're doing with our athletes. So make sure you hop over to valveperformance.com today to make sure you check out what they got. It's going to make you better and to do better by your athletes.
What's up, guys? Chris Hayes, Coppin State University, sitting in for this week's edition of My Thoughts Monday. Just listen to Jay's MTM from last week about the kind of where we've come from and where we're going as a field, as a profession. As I get ready, driving through the sticks of PA right now, heading up to Juniata for Coach Smith's 19th annual strength and conditioning clinic up there. Really looking forward to it. But yeah, just fired up about what Jay had to say, because I agree with him, really wholeheartedly, that we can and we should be, not in all positions, but with where the field is going, we absolutely can be tied to the head coach and the sports staff of the team we work with, especially if it's our only team, and especially if it's a revenue sport like basketball, obviously basketball, football, and in some cases baseball and beyond. But something that Tina said at Louisville, Tina Murray, who's a huge mentor and I think friend of mine, and will always be someone that I look to, that helped me figure out who I was and who I wasn't as a coach. But something that she said during a staff roundtable, or asked us during a roundtable during my time there at Louisville, was, how much of an impact do we have as strength coaches, or in that case our department there, performance coaches, how much of an impact do we have on winning? And of course we went around the table and everybody threw out a percentage, 20, 40, probably as high as 60 or 70 maybe, someone said. And Tina said, probably even more bluntly than this, no, it's as much as you want. You can have as much of an impact on the sport, right, and on our performance and success as you want. And a bunch of people of course are going to jump up and say, but wait, we're not the head coach, we don't recruit like Jay alluded to, and we're not the one drawing up the X's and O's. And yeah, of course, if you have, respectfully to say, an incompetent head coach or staff, or they're recruiting the wrong type of athletes, sure, that's in theory out of our control. But if we're really good at what we do, right, and believe in what we believe in, and can sell that, for lack of a better word, to the head coach and to the staff, shouldn't we also be able to have a hand in recruiting, right? Like, if we are attached to the head coach and the coaching staff, shouldn't we be able to build enough respect and autonomy and enough say to be able to say, hey guys, like, this athlete, they have an ACL repair, and I know that physical therapist, or I know that rehab process that they went through can be really tough, and they may not be the same athlete that they were in the video highlights you're watching before their ACL repair. Or, hey, this athlete, they're not physically very good now, they're super skilled, but we can make them a lot better, right? Or we cannot. But, I just think, especially, again, when you're in a revenue sport and you're, a strength coach or performance coach with one or maybe just two teams, I really think it is okay for us to believe that we absolutely can have as much of an impact on winning as we choose to. And no, that doesn't mean we're the ones putting the ball in the basket or the ball in the end zone. But the moment that we say, oh, that's out of our control, or oh, that's not our fault, or that's not our field, we deflect the blame, right? I'd rather, I know me personally, and what Jay kind of alluded to is, I'd rather volunteer or offer to take as much responsibility as possible. And if you win, great. And if you don't, you figure out at the next place probably, right? But I just think it's something that we absolutely kind of need to figure out as a field, where, maybe in 5 to 10 years, a strength coach and a performance coach are two different things, right? There's always going to be, or at least for the foreseeable future, the smaller schools and the schools with not as great of a budget that can only afford one or two or three, or only choose to invest in one or two or three strength coaches, right? And they need to have 5 to 10 plus sports per, in which case you can't do all these things we're talking about. But, for the bigger schools, the bigger conferences, higher revenue, etc., I think it almost becomes a different, not a different profession or field, but almost a different position, right? And you can have a different level of impact when you're traveling, you're doing the nutrition, you're doing obviously all the training and performance stuff, maybe even getting into psychology or bringing in an outside sports psych. When you begin to have a hand in all those things, I really think we are afforded the opportunity to take more responsibility for winning and or for losing. I think that's where I wanted to go with this. Like I said, just Jay got me really fired up and heading to the conference thinking about this stuff. Just wanted to kind of back him up and share my feelings on it. But I would love, I know Jay would too, to have someone step out, the Todd Hammers of the world. If his heart hasn't changed since leaving Robert Morris, to come out and argue argue the opposite. And I don't think there's a right or wrong here. I think it absolutely depends on position and school and all those things. But I would love to have someone who disagrees or who's on the other side of things that would like to share their opinion and have a healthy debate or discussion as well. So hopefully that makes sense. I know this was a quick one, but really just wanted to share that, back up Jay, and hopefully, as we want to with everything, open up debate, discussion, healthy, professional, respectful, but we absolutely need more of that in our field to make each other better, and at the end of the day, the ultimate goal, make our athletes better and our teams better. So thank you guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Oh, and of course, shameless plug. Don't forget to check out the seminar in July 19, 20, I believe. If you can't make it down to Richmond, it'll be a blast. But if you can't, there will be a live stream as well. So please look into that, guys. It's as high level and top notch as any seminar, clinic, conference, whatever in the field. So please, if you haven't already signed up, please look into it. Take a look and consider. All right. Thanks, guys.